You're listening to The Rough Draft, a not-so-average personal development podcast for purpose-driven women ready to rewrite their story. It's a show about evolution, changing narratives, and rewriting our life's rough drafts. I interview some of the world's top female leaders in business, energetics, love, relationships, money, and personal power about their humble beginnings and shifts that got them here. I'm your host, Sabrina Greer, writer, speaker, book publisher, serial entrepreneur, and mentor to women in life and business. Let's rewrite. Hello, and welcome back to the Rough Draft podcast. I'm super excited today for my guests. I have with me Lindsay Evans and Danielle McGrath, who are twin sisters and co-founders of Nourish Live Flow, a holistic wellness brand dedicated to helping women navigate perimenopause and midlife with clarity and confidence. Their work blends science-backed strategies with simple, practical tools to support nervous system regulation, hormone, health, mindset, and clean living. They are the creatives, also the creators and creatives of the Nourish and Thrive in Perimenopause workbook, which is live today. It's a guided resource designed to help women feel more like themselves, again, through sustainable lifestyle-based approaches. So cool. Danielle's background is in physiotherapy and acupuncture, and Lindsay's experience is in nutrition, food, and media, and together they're on a mission to simplify midlife health and help women feel steady, supported, and empowered in their bodies. Don't we all need that, folks?
Yes.
Welcome, ladies. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Hi, thank you.
So excited to be here.
Thanks for joining, and I love that you're together. It's awesome.
Yes.
You guys are so cute. It's the best. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Like how has your work evolved over the years, and how did you get into this?
So we were both, as you mentioned, we had respective careers in sort of the wellness industry, but slightly different from each other. And we always had a dream of building a business together. So when our kiddos were really young, we decided to drop our careers and go back to school to become certified holistic health and nutrition coaches. And from there, Nourish Live Flow was born, and it has definitely evolved over the past decade. We literally started the business a decade ago.
Yeah, so we started really with a dream of helping women. We always knew that if we were helping women, that information would trickle down because we care about helping everyone, but we knew it would trickle down to the kids and to the husbands. And so we began with a health coaching practice. We became very passionate about clean living around the time that we were having young kids. Yeah. And so that started becoming a big part of our company. And over the years, as we've gone through our own journey with perimenopause, we are now 49 and we're turning 50 in August. We truly became passionate about helping women in this realm, this midlife realm, in all areas of holistic health.
Yeah, so as we entered and sort of have navigated our own journey through perimenopause and midlife, we struggled with the same, even though we're holistic health coaches and we, do all the things, we still struggled with the same things that every woman in midlife can, struggle with. And so we started to really create simple and doable but effective things that we started implementing in our own lives, and we started realizing, well, these actually work. And so we created a framework, which is our Nourish and Thrive in Perimenopause framework. And yeah,
so the framework is based on 4 pillars. It's based on mindset and intentions, and nervous system regulation, nourishment, which is mind, body, spirit. So nourishment through food, nourishment through energy, nourishment through movement. And then our last pillar, which is, again, very important to us, is the clean living approach. So
ditching the toxins, basically, getting it's sort of the missing link to midlife or health in general that we sort of believe. A lot of people, all the other strategies, but really, starting to reduce your toxic load is really, really important as well.
We found that, we've always found in our own lives that someone can have a challenge, whether it's health or emotional, and it's easy to figure out what that challenge is, but we're not always given the tools So sometimes we've been left feeling like, well, that's great. I know I have this limiting belief, but how do I change it? And that's really what our approach does is we actually give women the tools and the strategies that they can implement in their day every day. And they're easy and they're effective and they work. And then they change how you feel. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so important. Is it a trend or what's happening? Is it just because like all the people I'm around are in this stage of life? First of all, if y'all are watching on YouTube, I'm sorry, 50? What? That is crazy. These ladies look like they're, early 30s max. Like I would never.
We have good genes.
Good genes
we do
and
a lot
good practices.
For our health, but yes. Thanks,
yes.
Mom.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So if you want to come watch on YouTube, the link will be in the show notes for you. If you're listening in, you can go check out later because these ladies are hot. And I love this though, because I see it everywhere now. It's like perimenopause this, perimenopause that, menopause, do it differently, midlife. So explain to me exactly what perimenopause is and why has nobody talked about this before? And now it's becoming so relevant in life in general.
So perimenopause is truthfully as menopause is the time in our lives that you have gone through your cycle and for 12 consecutive months you have not had your cycle. So that's kind of like the scientific definition of menopause. Perimenopause is much bigger than that, and it's amazing that we are now becoming much more aware, because sadly the women before us who started living longer have really struggled with issues that have come from perimenopause, because sadly things got a little bit awry in the scientific world. Mm-hmm. So perimenopause really is a journey where women can be on anywhere starting from 35 all the way up to 55, up or down a little bit. It can be as long as a decade or longer. A lot of people think it's when I start like people will say to me like, well, no, I still have my period every month. That doesn't mean that you're not in perimenopause. Perimenopause is very broad, and it's essentially the time that a woman's hormones start to change. Estrogen starts doing this, progesterone starts declining. And what that does for women's bodies is a lot of things. Primarily, it reduces our resilience to stress. And so we end up getting more inflammation in our bodies, more dysfunction with our metabolism. Obviously, those changes in hormones cause different things like all of these symptoms in perimenopause that Lindsay can speak to.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that, decline in progesterone and your estrogen going like this, and our cortisol also increases, which again causes us to have less resilience to stress. So if you're in midlife and you're wondering why the heck something that never used to bother me now impacts me greatly, it's because you're literally less resilient to stress. And so you can start having symptoms. And again, every woman's journey is so different. Some people we talk to is like, I don't have any symptoms whatsoever, except maybe it's one symptom. And then some people get like hit by a Mack truck. So it can range from sleep issues to obviously more stress and anxiety. You might be having some weight gain or bloating. Digestion is a big one that I struggled with a lot. Hot flashes are huge, obviously.
Brain fog,
mood
skin changes.
I mean, the list goes on, and it's even silly things like itchy ears and, skin issues on your body. Like it can show up in a zillion different ways. And again, because women have been so misinformed and almost left out of this conversation for so many years and years and years, suddenly, like you said, it's a hot topic. And yes, that's because we're in midlife. And so everything is bombarding us about that. It's like, if, you say, I want to see a red car, suddenly you see 1,000 red cars. It's your reticular activating system. But at the same time, this is a conversation that needs to be given more importance to and attention to. And so we're really excited that we actually are living it and able to, talk about it and help women, because it's not like we're like 20 years old and preaching perimenopause. We're living it. We've lived it. We're right in the thick of it.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people as well, like sometimes it's not like, a lot of times we hear from women that like literally the sentence, I just don't feel myself anymore. Or I am doing all the same things that I did before. I'm eating healthy. I'm exercising. I'm taking supplements. I'm doing stress relieving techniques. But I am still not feeling myself. I'm gaining weight. I can't think during the day. I'm fatigued. I have afternoon crashes. I've got this bloating, whatever it may be. But this is really the thing that's happening with women in midlife. And the conversation really does have to open up. And we can't cover, like, even though we think we're covering an amazing part of perimenopause, because we're trying to cover, like, well, you can't, like, I remember speaking, I always say this to people, and I had a therapist at one point, and I was speaking to her, and I remember she said something, and I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this podcast, but she said to me, you can't sprinkle shit, or you can't add sprinkles on top of a piece of shit. And that's something that we've really learned about. And that's why we begin our 4-pillar approach with mindset and intentions. Because if your mindset isn't there, like if you have a limiting belief about how your body's supposed to feel, or if your body's allowed to change, or that needs to be rectified before you start the other stuff, because the limiting belief is there. So we're actually teaching women how to change those limiting beliefs, how to, like, actually energetically allow those to leave your body, how to reframe more empowering and aligned limiting beliefs, and then how to set intentions. Then we move into the nervous system regulation, which is so essential. And then the other. But what I was going to say is there are so many different approaches out there. And what works for one person is not going to work for everyone else.
Yeah,
right.
We like to call that bio-individuality. Actually, it's a term that we learned at our holistic health coaching school. And it really does mean that what works for one person is not going to work for somebody else. So it's not a one size fits all, slap it on, do this and everything's going to work for you. It really is, every woman's body is different. And it really is about finding what works for you. And that's something that we really, really truly believe in when we work with women. Like we like to really get to know them and figure out what's going to work best for them. But the strategies that we use are also universally effective. I mean, and that's also for everybody, whether you're 20 years old or you're 80 years old. Like, of course, we're talking about midlife here, but the strategies and tips and tools that we teach really are effective at any age.
We even teach them to our daughters, right? Because they're starting puberty.
And it's this, hormonal journey. So,
and I was just going to say one other thing is that the nervous system regulation piece that we're talking about is that our whole, like, especially coming from being in our 20s and 30s and just the mentality of North American culture and everything, we tend to try to do more. A woman, like, the first thing a woman does when she's not feeling herself, or maybe she's put on a bit of weight, is I need to do more. I need to eat less. I need to exercise more. And we're really trying to reframe that, because we believe that actually at this time, your body's actually looking for a different type of support than it was in your 20s and 30s. And that's because of that whole stress resilience has changed. So if you start pushing your body more and doing more HIIT classes, and that's what we did when we first started having symptoms in our early 40s, and it backfired.
Yeah.
So again, every woman's body is different, but generally at this time of our life, our bodies are asking us to slow down, reset, do more mindful things. And that's when you're going to start to feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this because, I mean, that's why you made this workbook, right? It's so important to be informed, but be informed for your specific needs and support. And it's the same with nutrition. It's always been that way. This, like, oh, go on the keto diet, it's the only way, it's the best way. It's like, for who?
Right.
It's even the same in book publishing. It's like people learn differently, people consume information differently, people have different neurodivergence. Like, it's you can't just be a one size fits all. Like, here's the one way and the only way. And I think that's a really important point to bring to people, because we hear so much noise when something is trending and something is talked about a lot more. It comes with, like, the shadow side of that, right? It's great that there's awareness, and it's great that people are talking and starting these conversations. But there's the polarizing side of it too, where there's, like, so much information, it becomes overwhelming, and then people just decide to hide away from it. Right. So I love that you created a simple, like, easy to use tool that feels supportive to the individual. It's not a book where it's like, here's the information, do this is the way. So I love that. Do you want to talk a little bit about how this whole journey pivoted for you, and how landed here. It started as one thing and very different.
Yeah, you know our journey
like
well.
6 years ago, I think. And now here we are, with this powerful workbook. And I believe everything happens like in divine timing. And it was definitely an exercise of that, of trust and just patience and allowance. But can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. So when we first met Sabrina, I was living in Toronto and I had met someone who said, you need to, I think I had said, I literally want to, publish a book. And she was like, oh, you need to meet Sabrina. We had our first conversation. And that was when Danny and I were really in this non-toxic, clean living journey. And again, our father was diagnosed with lymphoma 6 years ago now and passed away almost 3 years ago from cancer. And that really, again, solidified this like passion that we have for educating women around non-toxic living. So when we first started talking about a book, it was actually going to be like a clean living guide, like almost like a coffee table book, like the home edit style, where you would open it up and it would have, a chapter on your kitchen and your bathroom and your laundry room. And it would be basically, and your pantry, and it would be basically about how to clean up your life.
Yeah.
So this evolved again as we evolved, and through COVID, things changed obviously. And, we basically started realizing that we wanted to work more with women in perimenopause. Our business evolved. And with that, we started saying, is this really the book that we want to publish? Probably much to Sabrina's dismay, because it took a long time and many different iterations of this journey. But we literally finally decided that, wow, we actually, exactly what you said before, we don't want to just educate. We want to provide a solution. We want to provide tools.
Support.
So it's not just about, oh, this is at perimenopause and this is what you want to do. I mean, in like a hardcover book, we wanted to provide really a solution that women can use, purchase, and have as a guide that they can use for many years.
And really, this guide is interactive. It goes through our 4 main pillars and then integration at the end, but it literally does have prompts, journals, all the way through it. So you're actually figuring out what are your mindset limitations. Then you're reframing those what's the word?
Beliefs.
Then setting your intentions, going into the nervous system regulation chapter. It's about actually doing the little strategies that we're teaching you, and you can start implementing which ones resonate most with you. When you go into the nourishment one, it's about, we have trackers in there where you can start tracking your nutrition, tracking your movement,
pantry guides and
nutrition recipes, and even meditations and guided visualizations that you'll have QR codes to our voice that's taking you through those. So there's a lot of support built into this book, like Lindsay was saying, and we want perimenopause to be, because this is for us as well. Like we always kind of say, we wrote the book that we wish we had 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When we started perimenopause, because we were lost too, despite the fact that we have both of our education and background in holistic health and wellness. And so we really want, because we believe this time is a time that women can truly begin to thrive instead of just survive this time. We talk to so many women who are just like, I'm barely holding on, between, because the fact is for women now, because of just the way that everything's changed, women who are going through perimenopause now tend to have either young kids at home, young teenagers at home. They have the things that they're doing with the family. They're oftentimes trying to build their own careers. Plus they have aging parents. So we have a lot of stress on us right now. So a lot of women are really, truly struggling. And we want this to be a time where they can reconnect to who they are. Yeah. Find themselves again, learn to be grounded and connected to themselves and nature and other people, and then truly begin to thrive during this season. And then if you do that now, you're going to have an amazing, like the next 10, 20, 30 years of your life are going to be so much better.
Yeah.
Than if you don't pay attention to that now.
Well, yeah. And it's also so important, again, because as women, we often are, like Danny said, the caregivers to everybody, and we don't care for ourselves. Like women lose themselves over time with families. And of course, we all love our children and our husbands and everything, but we are always putting everyone else first. And once your children again start getting older, you have more time for yourself. And then once you're in your sort of 50s and stuff, maybe your children are off at university, and women have the time then to invest in themselves again. And I think sometimes they wake up and they're like, well, I've given everything to everyone else for so long. Like, who am I even now? Like, what am I? What's my worth? Like, what's my value? Where do I fit? And I think that's so important for us because that's what we're living again. And we're really like, we've, gone through so many changes in our career, and now we're finding our, like, this is like we're truly finding it now. I feel like we're like, and we're at 49. So it's, yeah.
It's never too late.
Yeah.
To start something, a new habit, something that serves you.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember a dear friend of mine who's also like a celebrity nutritionist and coach in the States now. She said something that always stuck with me, and it's like, a symptom is just it's like an alarm going off. It's like, look deeper into this, but we shouldn't normalize symptoms.
No.
To be like, oh, that's just the way it is.
Totally.
I just have perimenopause. I just have menopause. I just have a disorder of some kind or disease of some kind. It's like, no, the symptom is the like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
like,
it
look
is.
deeper into this and let's see what's going on. And I love that you've created this like framework to be like, okay, let's check in with the nervous system. Let's check in with our nutrition. Let's check in with our hormones. Like, let's see what's going on deeper below the surface. And I think it's just so important. Like, we need to advocate for ourselves because nobody else is going to do it.
Absolutely.
Nobody's gonna, like, the doctors aren't gonna call you in and be like, hey, time to get your perimenopause checkup and see what's going on deeper. Like, it's just our system's not set up for that level of support. So we need to advocate for ourselves and go searching.
Because I think like love that the workbook is accessible to people because again, like a lot of women, not everybody's in the same income bracket. Like, not everybody can go to the naturopath and spend $400 on Dutch testing and getting their hormones checked and all sorts of different things. And of course, if you can do that, and that's great, like everybody's journey is their own, but we like that this workbook is accessible. It's affordable. You can have it. We have a digital copy, and then there's obviously going to be the print copy that you can order. And it's not, I'm not even sure what I'm saying there, but it's accessible for people.
Accessible, yeah. And I think
like
also it's something that
anyone can like sneak $20 onto their Amazon order,
and
right?
And it's something that, to be honest, women can come back to time and time again.
Yes.
Because again, like as you move on in life, and we've gone through it, and we still are, like, this health journey is forever. There is no end point. There is no like, I'm healthy now, check a box. We're always going through different things in life. And as you get older, you're probably going to face more health challenges, right? So I think it's really important. What's that?
And it changes by circumstance.
And it's just the changes. Exactly. And so, but this is a workbook that you don't only have to just read once and put it away and like throw it at, you can literally read, come back to time and time again. It's actually
remind yourself about different parts.
Sure, if you do it in pencil, you can literally rub it out and set your new intentions. We also have QR codes to all of our trackers so that you can literally go in and download weekly trackers so that this can be a continuous journey for you.
And you could buy multiple ones, and you can just keep going back and checking
exactly
like
it's
you were
really
before and seeing the growth, because you might actually find that it improves drastically.
Absolutely.
And you want to reflect back and be like, whoa, I was there and now I'm here, and give yourself a little pat on the back too. But I love that you set it up like a journey.
And further to what Lindsay said, she mentioned the accessibility, but it's also like we have learned that small little habits built into your day, even if it's 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there, actually can help so much with balancing your hormones and resetting your nervous system. I think if I was in a position where I didn't know what I know now, or say like go back to my 40-year self, I think a lot of women feel overwhelmed. Well, I can't do it all. Instagram is telling me that I have to walk 15,000 steps a day. I have to rebound every day. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to wake up and get the sunlight. And like we say all those things too, in a sense of like, these are things we love, but we're very much about progress, not perfection. We're not like this, like we don't want women to feel overwhelmed. In fact, we're trying to do the opposite. So what we're teaching you is little things that women can do in their day.
every day that don't take a lot of time,
Yeah.
but actually will have a big impact when they're consistently done.
Yeah. Again, it's not about adding more. You know, you might think, okay, well, now I have to add breath work into my, but once you start adding these little things, you start to feel better and they just become habitual. Like they become, and we know we're big believers as well in like habit stacking. So something like your, a little technique that we teach about nervous system regulation literally is like the butterfly hug. And you can do this anytime. Like you can do it while you're driving, even. Like Danielle and I sometimes, we'll just sit in our car if we're feeling overwhelmed or something and just do some bilateral tapping. Like things like this that signal safety to your body it's not something you're adding. It's just something you can do, and it can really actually effectively help reduce whatever the stress that you're feeling in that moment. Again, it's not about doing more. It's about
just adding little tiny
doable
things into your life that are going to create a big impact.
Yeah.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing the right things for you, the right things for your body, for your age, for your symptoms, for your joy and comfort and safety, and just doing that instead of doing more. You don't need to run a marathon. You don't need to go do CrossFit. You don't need to
do the 5 HIIT classes a week.
Grass-fed beef or whatever it is. Like there's a lot of different ways that can support you and your individualism. And that's why I love how you've set it up. So where can people find you? Obviously, they can go to Amazon and get the workbook. They can also download the digital version.
Yep. So we have our Instagram even though our company is called Nourish Live Flow, again, going back to our clean living journey and passion, our Instagram is actually at the.cleantwins.
Dot is in
period. And we have a Facebook page as well, which is also at the.cleantwins. And we have a Stand Store link that hosts all of our workshops. We do in-person workshops. We do other different resets, different programs, guides, and all sorts of things. And that can be found at our Stand Store link. And then we actually have a community that we're building on School. So that's SKOOL. If you don't know, School is a community-based platform, and we have a Thrive in Perimenopause community there that we're growing. So that's a really great place to just kind of join in. And
it's a free membership.
You just come in, and then you'll kind of get to know, different women. You can start, it's just growing, but it's a really neat place to join. And we're hoping to really build a beautiful community there of women going through midlife.
Amazing. Well, I'll link everything in the show notes.
Thank you.
If you're listening, go check out the show notes and go find Lindsay and Danielle and go get your copy of the workbook today on Amazon.
Yay.
Thanks for being
Thank
here,
you
ladies.
so much.
Is there anything else you want to leave our listeners with for today?
No, I just think that we do really believe in women, and it is very, very possible for you to start to really look and feel your best during this time. And that's what our hope is for everyone.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you for being here, and thank
you
for tuning in.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Have a great day.